No, sir. Thank you for doing this.
Okay.
I'm
Have
really
we
grateful.
started?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let me start again.
All right.
No, sir. Thank you for coming. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you. I want to start by asking you about yourself.
Okay.
Do you want to tell us who you are?
Yeah.
You're coming off the heels of a highly contested election
Mm-hmm.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, who is GRV?
Well, my name is Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. Um, I'm an architect by profession. I also have interests in business that include development, construction, commodity trading, recycling. Um, I'm 40 years old. I'm from Lagos. I'm a proud indigen of Lagos. Um, I also have mixed heritage.
Yeah.
My mother is Igbo, and so my full names are Gbadebo Chinedu Patrick Rhodes-Vivour. Patrick was given to me by my grandmother,
Yeah.
who is actually from Guyana. My grandfather met her when he came to law school in London, and she was a nurse at the time. And my grandmother on my mother's side gave me the name Chinedu,
Yeah.
and Gbadebo was given to me by my grandfather.
Yeah.
He was also a titled man. He was a judge, and he was also a titled man in Yoruba land. So it's a very interesting,
Yeah, of
Now,
course.
when now I have to talk about, they ask you, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, it has taken on a new meaning in my mind because of what I experienced during the elections, right? But other than that, yes, that's me. I'm married to a beautiful wife. I have two sons.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm also still practicing architecture.
Yeah.
And I'm very passionate about Lagos, very passionate about Nigeria, very passionate about Africa and the black man's journey on this planet. And I believe that it's with leadership, quality leadership, that puts the interests of people first, that Africa and the black man and Nigerians and Lagosians will be able to take their pride of place in this world.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if you look at what the UAE, Emirates that everybody's going to on holiday from Nigeria, what they've achieved in the last 20, 30 years is by virtue of quality leadership
Yes.
and leadership that takes pride in the well-being of her people. Not just taking pride in the well-being of your family and your cronies and how much you'll be able to gather for yourself and form big man. But you're driving and there are potholes all over the place. You're seeing destitute children. You're seeing young men on drugs. But it's okay because you can travel abroad when you're ill. You can send your children abroad when they need to go to school. You can live in Banana Island and secure areas when you want to sleep at night. And that's not okay, right? So that's what has led me into politics.
Yes.
Plato's famous quote is, I'm going to paraphrase, it says something along the lines of, if you refuse to participate in politics, you'll be ruled by people that are less than you,
Yes.
right? Because you're constantly going to be complaining.
Very
And
true.
if you are complaining, it's because you believe you can do it better.
No, that makes sense. I mean, we're gonna come to the Mama Chinedu stuff later. I mean, now you said Chinedu is your Igbo name.
Yes.
Now we know where that came from. We're gonna come back to that later on in the interview. But looking at you and looking at what happened 3 months ago, the way you're speaking with so much passion,
Yes.
you sound so refreshing. Your ideas were so refreshing for the common, not just Lagosians, but the common Nigerian.
Yes.
Nigerians all over Nigeria and all over the world could connect to you. You're young, you're vibrant, you speak well, you could relate to the average Lagosian, even those that we may call Aboros in parentheses in Lagos State, you could relate to them. And for me, that passion is something that we hardly see in our leaders in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So where does that passion, where does it come from? Where was it something that happened? Did something click in your mind when you were growing up? Because you've obviously been in activism before, you've been in politics for a while.
Yeah.
So where did that passion for politics and for leadership come from?
I think that if we look back, hindsight is always 2020.
Yes.
If I look back, I feel that my parents really put a lot of value on impact, on how you make things better. It was more that than, oh, you have to have a big car, or, or you have to be rich. There was a lot of value on how, if you don't have something good to say about something, then be quiet. If you are going to criticize something, do something about it.
Yes.
And the practical thing of this is, and I tell this story a lot. When I understood genetic modified foods, bear in mind I'm an architect, I'm not a scientist. But I also have interest in, I did A-levels biology and A-levels chemistry, so I have an understanding about genetics. So when I read about it and understood that the federal government was trying to bring it into Nigeria, and in that moment, I felt, well, I don't have what it takes to fight the government, but this is something I'm very much against, because I feel that to affect the life of my people, and somebody has to stand up against it. I remember I was very down and depressed, because in that moment I felt helpless. I felt that I could not do anything about it. This was like 2015, 2016.
Yes.
And I remember I went to go see my father, and my father noticed something different about me. And like, what's wrong? And I told him. And he said, so what are you going to do about it? It was not a conversation of, that's bad. Oh, this government is bad. Okay, and we'll carry on talking about something else. He said to me, what are you going to do about it?
Yes.
And I said, I don't know. He said, well, first you have to start by educating people. And he made calls. And newspaper editors were in the house the next day. That's how the journey started.
Wow.
Now, you might take that for granted, but it's not something that everybody thinks about, So I was raised not to just complain about stuff. When you complain, you are committing to doing something about it. Right? You are committed. In you complaining, you are committing to doing something about it. So you don't just talk anyhow.
Yes.
So, and that means that if you're going to, so when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So when people look at me and they look and say, this small boy, this, they've said all sorts. It was the governor of Lagos, blah, blah, blah. See, they don't understand the level of commitment to this level of sacrifice. Right? They don't have any clue. Right? So that's why they cannot understand the staying power.
Yes.
Because by now they would have expected to be quiet.
Yes.
That those calls that they may come and collect this amount of money and be quiet and have taken it. But they don't understand. So when I look back and the building up of it, I have to say it comes from the house. And I also have to say that this is looking back even more, because when you go through things like this and in your quiet times, you do a lot of soul searching. Because that value that I was raised with came from somebody who gave my father and somebody who gave him as well. Passed on. Yes. So I'll give you another story. My grand uncle, who is my grandfather's younger brother, he was 22 in Lagos. Very privileged. He was about to do his A-levels, was probably going to go to college in England. Very privileged kid. So I think it was early 20s. So he now read about what the Germans did in Namibia, that was the first place where they tested out the concentration camps.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of people don't know this, but the first place Germany tested out concentration camps were against Namibians in Namibia.
Really?
Shark Island, I think it was called.
Wow.
So they perfected it there before they now did it on the Jews.
Yes.
So when he now heard about that and saw the link and saw that Hitler could potentially win this war. If he was already doing this to Afghans before, can you imagine what he's going to do to Afghans now?
Yeah.
He went and registered to join the RAF.
Wow.
The Royal Air Force.
Wow.
Like, he literally participated in bombing of Berlin, Essen. He died on the bombing and the flight command of Nuremberg.
Wow.
He did that at 24.
Wow.
So
And you've got history.
No, yes, and that's why I'm very passionate about history as well, because it goes down. I keep going on. Like, I have people in the second ever judge in Nigeria was my great granduncle, and there was a time they tried to bribe him. He took the person to court. He didn't say no. He took the person to court.
Yeah.
So there are things that form. You might not realize it as a young man, but there are things that form your views about life and what is right and what is wrong and what do you do against something that is wrong. Do you just keep quiet and take it? Do you stand? What do you do?
Yes.
You know?